Are you guys ready for some girl chat?
Yes!
We always are.
Yes.
Lonnie, I like those glasses.
I can't see. I need some glasses.
No, they actually look very sexy.
Today that Lonnie wears contact lenses. I didn't know that.
We knew that because we're the contact lens girls over here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See
so,
that?
yeah.
All right, we ready for our first topic?
Let's
do it.
Here it goes. A recent study done by several California universities found that there is still a severe lack of Asian presence in film and television.
Wow.
The study found, this doesn't seem shocking to me.
I know, right?
The study found that there are actually 155 TV shows right now that lack a single Asian American character, not one.
155.
Wow.
And according to BuzzFeed, when Asian actors and actresses are cast, they're often put into stereotypical submissive roles or they play rebellious characters with colorful hair. Check out this example from the Huffington Post. Wow.
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 All right, in fact, actor Daniel Day Kim reportedly exited his show Hawaii Five-0 due to him not being paid as much as his white co-stars. Kim has also been very vocal about whitewashing in Hollywood, publicly speaking out against the casting of white actors playing the roles of Asian characters. So, Jeannie,
Dang.
I love that you sit up on this panel. I really do. I love that you represent your people. I love how you represent them. I love that you are authentically you in every way, shape, and form, and I think that freaking is awesome. So, as our resident Asian, we have to ask you, what do you think about this study?
Okay, so back in the day when I first started television, and even now, when everybody mixes me up with Brenda Song, at first I was like, oh dang, maybe we do kind of resemble each other, you know, I'm not sure. But then I thought, no, it's only because we are practically two of the only Asians in television today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about it.
Yeah, Lisa
totally
Ling,
true.
and I'm sorry, there's another woman that people get confused all
Julie
the time.
Chen.
Julie.
Yes.
Yes. So that brings me down to looking at that fact, which is there are very few Asian American roles in television and movies. And to break it down even further, guys, the very few Asian roles there are often handed to white people.
Oh.
Let me give you an example.
How does that even...
Doctor Strange was played, had a Tibetan monk in there, played by Tilda Swinton. Japanese manga series, huge international series, had centered around a Japanese American, actually played by a white person. Now,
How does this work?
Okay, and then also the last movie was Aloha, and it was about a person who was part Chinese,
I remember
part
that.
Hawaiian, played by Emma Stone.
Yeah.
So it all comes down what I think is a bigger question. Who is at fault at this,
Yeah.
right? So part of it, I think, when we come down to the families, the homes, who we raise, Asian Americans, traditionally families really encourage their kids to get jobs that are more stable. They don't want to go towards the creative side. So I always think Asian American parents, if you have your child who is into the arts, into writing, into producing, into film directing, encourage them, even if it's a risky job pace, because they're breaking that glass ceiling that's already out there for
Right.
us. Yeah. Asian American parents should start there. Number two, it goes down to the networks. Networks. If you look at your cast, if you look at your writers, if you look at your directors, the people in your team, if it doesn't reflect the melting pot that is out there, make some changes. It has to look like what we see out here in our audience.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? And then the third thing is just TV shows like this. This is why I am so proud to be on a show here where we reflect four of the many voices that are out there in America, but not one perspective. Because when you have a show that is filled with just one race, you're going to hear just that one perspective. If that job needs to be replaced, that person is going to hire their friend that looks or talks like them.
And even
so,
in the same race, you have different perspectives.
Exactly.
That's
true.
So it all comes down to us doing our part, but networks out there, the people at the top, do what you need to do to fill those roles in the right way.
I'm just still confused as to how...
Let me
Maybe
tell you
I'm
why.
ignorant.
No,
How
let
can a
me-
white person play Asian?
Because it comes down to those network decisions. Somebody
Now,
didn't
let me
feel
tell you
they
what
could trust.
the problem. You ever go to a Hollywood party? You know what you don't never see no Asians. You see about 4 blacks.
Look at the Emmys. When you look
You
at
know
the whole...
what I mean?
Where are
No,
the Hispanics?
seriously. And this is the Hispanics. You know, it might be 10 of y'all, right? Seriously, this is the issue I feel. writers and casting directors and producers, a lot of them don't have people of color as their friends. And when you don't have people of color as your friends, you don't think about them when you're writing a project. You don't think, let me write, but when you do, you're like, oh, a martial artist. Oh, he's got to be Asian. Or a Chinese food restaurant owner.
Right.
That's, and that's the problem is that, in Hollywood is very segregated. I don't care what anybody tries to say. It's very, very segregated. Because you go to just a typical Hollywood party, you will see, you can count on your finger the people of color.
Yeah.
And
That
it's
is
like,
true.
and that is never going to change until people start branching out and knowing different people of different cultures.
Maybe, I agree. Maybe we can even start with the crew. Like the writer's staff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes I've experienced this. You're doing a black show, and then you're like, wait a minute, there's only 2 or 3 black writers on this show. So
How are they going to
how
paint
are
the
they going
perspective?
to get the African-American voice across to the world?
Right.
And not write it stereotypically, but actually from experience.
Yes, so I think it's important that we should have, of course, diverse television, but we should also have diverse staff behind
Which is what I'm saying.
the television shows.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, I do have to commend like Disney and NBC because they have writers workshops, and also CBS. All of the networks, they have different types of minority workshops and writers workshops to try to include. So they are working on things like that. It's just that if you are a person that you're really trying to get into the business as a writer or producer, it's like you have to look out for these things and join these workshops because it's really hard to get a job like in the industry and be part of the culture if you don't have the training. So the networks are working to make it happen, but we need the right people, and you still have to be qualified. I don't think you should be hired just because you black. I think you should be hired because you good, or because you're a good Asian. I think that's good too.
I also think if those roles are not being written for you, get out there and become the writer. Start your own
And it don't necessarily have to be it doesn't have to be a part. Just put an Asian character instead of saying, okay, well, it's got to be, it's a martial artist. No, let it just be
a regular person. There's a girl character. The girl could be
Asian or whatever. Just open to all ethnicities.
You know what they do, though, Lonnie? I got to keep it real, because sometimes when you go on these auditions, they have all ethnicities, but they already know in their mind what
who
they're
they're
going
looking
to
for.
pick.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Well, sometimes they already know what star they're going to pick.
That is true.
But that's why it also helps that we supported one another.
Yes.
Like, for example, when Emma Stone received so much backlash for being an Asian character,
I remember.
she said she was the butt of many jokes and she would reconsider getting a role that was supposed to be depicted for another race next time. And the director of Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson, tweeted, "Raw anger, hurt from Asian Americans over Hollywood whitewashing, stereotyping, and erasure of Asians in cinema. I am listening and learning." So it comes down to people taking ownership, too, to see what is done wrong and speaking out about it. Like Donald Glover, when he won his Emmy, he knew that an Asian American directed 7 of his episodes for the Emmy he received. So he gave tribute to Hero when he spoke about his speech. So give credit where credit was due and have the representation.
Yeah, very important.
And learning.
Yeah. Well, while it's important to make the argument for more Asian characters on TV, should you make it by text?
What do you mean?
A recent Refinery 29 article asked the question, why are so many couples into text arguing? Now, the writer of the article says, quote, yeah, that's how I do. You see how I just slide to the next topic? Don't get me wrong, I'm not one who shies away from confrontation or a healthy argument, but as I get older, I realize that when it comes to certain types of conflicts, I am much better at writing. So what they're saying is, when it comes to confrontation, do you do it face-to-face or do you do it on phone-to-phone?
Why are you shaking your head like that, Jeannie? Like, this is terrible.
I'm anti-text argument.
Why?
I hate it because, number one, you read things out of context. When someone's pissed, when someone's pissed and they say, like, I'll talk to you later, somebody, like, looking for drama is going to be like, I'll talk to you later, right? When you could have just said, I'm going to talk to you later. It's not, it's...
What if you're saying it like, I'm going to talk to you later, and maybe they read it, I'm going to talk to you later. It actually might come in handy, because what if you are rah-rah and in your feelings and angry?
Nope.
And the text actually might be calmer than you are in person.
I like to do it by text, so I have a receipt, so you can go back and look at it a
Okay.
That's what I like.
Me too.
Receipts are nice.
Me too.
That always gets me in trouble. I actually like to text argue.
Me too.
Only because I get really emotional when I'm upset. I usually cry, and I can't get my words across together. So I like to write it down.
Yeah, it's like writing a letter.
I know, but the only thing is you can never say, I didn't say that, because then they'll look back and they're like, yes, you did, right here.
But that's why you get to read it, reread it, proofread it, let your friends read it, let your mom and your sister read it. And then you'd be like, do we all concur? Is this, should I press send? How does this work?
And I
then you press
personally
it
don't like the face-to-face because I get emotional and start crying
that's me.
and all this, and then I can't get out what I really want to get out. So it's like if I could just do it by text, then I'd be like, boom, there you go, boo.
Or no boo. Have you ever bubble
Wait a minute,
tortured
though.
someone?
At the start of this girl chat, Ronnie sat over here and said, why is she wearing glasses? Because she can't see. So you guys are applauding for this boo-boo right here to text argue with you when she can't see?
Yes.
No. Have you guys ever bubble tortured somebody?
Bubble tortured. What does that mean?
You know when the bubbles come up and you believe you're gonna get a response? So I intentionally just write anything. I'll be like ALGK9, like we'll just write so that the bubbles come up, and then I walk away from the phone.
Oh, that's so wrong.
And then you're there suffering. You're just being tortured by the bubbles. Or if I know somebody's gonna write me a big paragraph, if I just wrote something and I know that they're gonna have like a big or major response, you know that now you can individually put on your red text. Do you know what that means, you guys?
What?
Underneath, have you ever sent somebody a message and it says underneath red that you read the message?
You do not read it on purpose and not respond.
100%, and it lets you know red, but I'm not replying.
Jacked
She
up
is
egg.
Petty Crocker in the flesh.
Oh, wait. Do you
Yes, I am.
guys... Oh, Lord.
What?
I'm telling on myself.
What?
You know what I like to do when I text argue?
What?
I do everything in capital letters. And then you,
my
like, really
God.
get into it. You're like... and then you put the exclamation points, like 10 of
A
them
lot, yeah.
afterward. Wait, do any of you guys use emojis, though, when you argue?
Yes. I feel like the emojis make it silly, and I'm being very serious.
Yes. But there
have
is
to
one
agree.
face. There's that one emoji face that looks all misconstrued and angry. It's like this. That
You
emoji.
see, it's still funny. You just made them laugh.
See,
Yep.
but
I'm very serious.
On that note, though, how many of you guys had to untangle an argument because it got worse from text arguing, from having to explain it?
No,
Yeah,
I
but you do
honestly
that
feel like it allows me to think, on a serious note, it really allows me to think about what it is I want to say. And I actually can think about doing it with kindness, and I don't do the capital letters.
And sometimes I don't
I try to
send
be
it.
kinder on text message because when you're emotional, you can say things you don't mean. But if you sent it in a text and, like I said, everybody proofread it and said that this is okay to send, then I feel better about it.
Well, sometimes I just do it and then I don't send it. So that's another
And it makes
reason
you
why.
feel better.
And it
You
just
just
makes
get
me
it
feel
out.
better and everything. And I can
What's the
really
point of-
say what I want to say about them, but they don't really know. And it's just for my own personal
I do
belief.
that in the notes of my phone.
Yeah.
I could actually be around you if you're driving me crazy. I go in my notes and I will read you in, just the notes
Oh,
in
you
your
never
phone.
tell a
Right.
person?
No, I don't tell them. I just,
What's the good
I
in
listen
that,
to what
though?
they have to say.
Like
but
venting.
no, but I be going in though. I really should. Like I be calling them all kind of names and all this other kind of stuff, and your mama and this and that and this and that.
Jeannie, don't encourage her to send it.
No,
You might receive
ever.
one.
And I don't. Yeah.
I think there is nothing more powerful than the ability to call somebody, let them hear your tone, let them hear your voice, or let them see your eye contact, because that, at the end of the day, will never get misconstrued. Guys, in this day and age, engage. Do not
But
let it get all
sometimes you
over
say it the
text
wrong
message.
way, though.
Can we find
Like
balance?
what?
Can you
I
send
do
the message
both.
and then say, if you'd like to discuss, please call me?
I do both.
No?
Well,
Sometimes
see,
I got out what I needed
will-
to say.
That's confrontational.
Well,
That's,
see,
I feel like, right?
I-
That's like, oh, you want me to step outside? Is that text?
Oh my gosh, no
Step
way.
outside.
If I just said, if you'd like to discuss this further, please give me a call. I'd love to hear from you.
No, you just said, bitch, let's step outside.
No, I did not say that.
Yes, you did. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad hearing that. I'm like,
What? I'm so
Jeannie,
confused.
are you
Yes.
insane?
What?
No.
Wait, what's going on, Jeannie? Get it out.
If you texted me something, let's say
Okay.
we were arguing,
Okay.
right? You said, Jeannie, no, I said this. And I said, Tam, no, I heard this. You said, Jeannie, no, I heard this. And I
Yes.
said, Tam, you know what? I think this, this, and this.
Yes.
And if you want to discuss this further, you can talk to me later.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I did
'cause
not
that
say that.
sounds
That is
like
not what
Catch
I
Me
said.
Outside. That does.
That's catch me outside. What
That
did you
does.
say?
I said, I'd love to hear from you. Please call me.
Okay, somebody wants to take off their earrings, huh?
You just got that life. I don't know what to tell you.
I know I'm right. Yeah, I want to see the tweets. You guys.